Well, good morning Year 3, and today we are going to be writing and designing our menus for the Iron Man Cafe. So I've got my sheet here to remind us, but before we think about our writing, we're going to have a quick look at some examples of menus from previous years. Now, this is Angel's work from Year 5. And he called his cafe the Iron Man Buffet. Very good idea. And he's got lovely pictures here of all the iron and metal things that might be eaten, and also maybe some of the customers who might come to this cafe. And in the middle, he's got some starters, some main courses, and some desserts. And we're going to come back and have a look at some of these sentences a bit more closely in a minute because they're fabulous. We've also got this beautiful design from Ella, who's also in Year 5, and I have had permission from these children to share their work. So she called her cafe the Iron Kitchen. And again, lots of lovely metallic drawings on the front. I like the little horseshoes, they're lovely, aren't they? And again, the starters, main courses and desserts. And what I particularly like about what she's done is she's even included some iron drinks. Bolt smoothie. Sounds delicious. Okay, and then finally, I've got Lydia's work. Now, Lydia's in Year 4 now, and she's done a beautiful piece of work. She called her cafe the Metal Muncher, and she's done some lovely pictures here. I like the little washing machine and the toxic oil. They've even got a little phone number that you can phone up to get takeaway. And on the inside, we've got starters, mains and desserts, and again she's got some absolutely fabulous descriptions. Now this is what we're going to be sending home to you in your packs, an A3 piece of black paper, so I'm going to show you a little bit later how to fold that up to make a fabulous menu. But before we can begin making our menu, first of all we have to draft out some ideas for our starters, main courses and desserts. So very, very important today are our adjectives, and we need to use those instead of nouns like cheese or fish or chicken. We're going to pair them up with these nouns, these metallic nouns of the things the Iron Man might like to eat. Okay, I'm going to do a couple of examples for you, and then I'd really like you to let your imagination go wild today. Okay, so our TLP today is a bit of a fun TLP. Can I use tricks to persuade? So when I say tricks, I don't mean we're going to play pranks on people. We're going to use tricks of our language to persuade people, especially robots, to come and eat in our Iron Man Cafe, whatever we decide to call it. So if you set out your page like this, and then we'll have a little think about how we can really persuade people that this is what they want to eat. Okay. So let's look at my my lists. Now, as I said last time, starters generally are fairly small things. So I'm going to look for some small things. Now, like I said, springs, I think that would make a really nice side dish. So maybe door handles. I'm going to start with door handles. Now, I just don't want to just write door handles because that's not very interesting. So this is where I need to take a look back at my adjectives. So I've got door handles in my brain. How can I make that more interesting? Now, where is my food bank? So I might say Grandma's recipe barbecued door handles. With creamy nuts. Try that. Now I've got to remember all of those things I've just said. Was it Grandma's recipe? Grandma's recipe. So that makes it sound homemade. And I'm going to say barbecued. Barbecued. Remember, if you don't know the spellings, if you've forgotten the spellings, look back at your word bank. That's why it's really useful to copy those carefully. Grandma's recipe. And I'm going to do a little comma there. Barbecued door handles. And I might say, now rather than just with, I'm going to say smothered in creamy. Now the word nuts, it might make you think of the kind of, just nuts like you'd eat normally. So maybe I'll say smothered in creamy bolt bolts. Now, bolts aren't really very creamy. They're actually quite clunky, aren't they? So I might say in creamy bolt sauce. So can you see, even as I'm saying it, I'm improving it and making it better. Now, I've written that, I'm quite happy with it, but I think I can improve it. I think I can say, Grandma's recipe, barbecued door handles, smothered in a creamy bolt sauce. It just flows a little better. It makes a little bit more sense. Right, let me read my starters again. Or my starter, rather. Grandma's recipe, barbecued door handles, smothered in a creamy bolt sauce. Oh, you could almost imagine it on an M&S advert, couldn't you? Describing how delicious the food is. Right, now something else small. Girders are really big. Ooh, maybe a coat hanger. Now I'm going to try and use some alliteration here. Crispy coat hanger. Now what other words could I use? So comfort I could use. Oh, maybe country style. Country style crispy coat hangers. Toasted. Freshly toasted. I'm going to change that round a little bit. Had to have a think about that. Freshly toasted. Freshly toasted. Country style. I'm going to have to freshly toasted, country style, crispy coat hangers. Full stop. Freshly toasted, country style, crispy coat hangers. Now, it doesn't all have alliteration, but it does have three alliterating words: country style, crispy, and coat hangers. Because remember, alliteration is the same consonant repeated more than once. Lovely. Now, I would say you need to try and have about 3 for each, okay? I'm going to go away and have a little think about the rest of mine. I'd like you to have a go at writing some fabulous sentences. And remember, don't be afraid with this to cross things out, to make changes, because when we're writing them out neatly to go in our menu, that's our neat copy. This is our drafting copy. Okay, look forward to seeing those. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the main course. Now you can see I've done a bit of crossing out here, and again, because this is our draft copy, that's absolutely fine. Now, for my main course, I suggested, so again, when you have a main course, you might have, for example, fish with chips and peas. So it's not just one thing, there might be a few elements to your dish. Now, I suggested roasted, I think we need a comma there, roasted organic girders. Now, girders is a large thing, a large metal beam, served with free-range silky springs. So I'm doing a list of adjectives, so I need a comma in there as well. Good thing I'm checking. So we have the girders, and then on the side it's got silky springs. Now, this next one, I must admit, came from Angel, and it's really descriptive. I can really picture it in my head, how that would look and how the Iron Man might absolutely think it's delicious. Hand-selected BMW boot, so that's the boot of the car, stuffed with a selection of nuts, bolts, wrenches, and the finest golf clubs, served on a sautéed car door, and sautéed is a way of cooking things. Okay, I love that one. Have a go, try your main courses now, really use your imagination. I can't wait to see what you come up with. And I'm going to go and think about my desserts. Okay, I got so carried away. I did my dessert and then I went on and did a drink. I've only done one example of each of these for you, but I'd say on a menu you probably want at least 2 or 3 so people have a lovely choice. So for my dessert, I suggested baked West Country stove, which is like an oven, but I chose the word stove here because it sounds nice and it alliterates with stuffed. So I'll say that again. Baked West Country stove stuffed with tender pots and pans, topped with piping hot oil. Thought that sounded delicious. And then for drinks, now I started with toolbox and then I thought, oh no, I'm going to put the word organic in. So again, I'm editing. Organic toolbox smoothie with nails, washers and sticky screws. So I thought, what would be in a toolbox? And I'm going to add those to my smoothie. So organic toolbox smoothie with nails, washers and sticky screws. So 2 or 3 examples for each of those. Really enjoy it. Do your editing, improve, see if you can use alliteration, see if you can make your family laugh with your ideas. Okay, lots of imagination, over to you. Now, this is more than enough work for one day. However, maybe tomorrow on Friday, when you've done a bit of spelling, you could then go on to making your menu. So this is a bit of a fun, creative task. You've already done the hard work. This part is a bit of fun. So you could maybe either try it this afternoon or do it as part of your English work tomorrow. It's totally up to you, but I can't wait to see them. Okay, now in your packs, you have a large piece of black paper like this. So hopefully most of you have got your packs by the time you're watching this, or will do today. So what I would suggest, well, it's up to you. It might be that you want to fold it into 4 equal parts like this. I've folded it into 3 equal parts. Each section, I did a good bit of measuring and dividing, you'll be pleased to hear. Each section is about 14 centimetres. You might want to get an adult to help you with this. Now, this isn't quite exact, so what I'm going to do there is I'm going to have the slightly longer flap on the outside, okay? So folding it into 3 or possibly folding it into the middle to create quarters. Now, my other top tip would be, if you cut out pieces of white paper, or if you have a different colour, that's fine as well. And what I would do, don't stick them on yet. Do your design or your starters or your main course, whatever it is, and then when you're happy with it, stick it on. Then if you think, oh, I haven't quite got that right, rather than having to try and tear it off or cover it over, you can just swap it for a fresh one. So only stick it on when you're absolutely happy with it. Now, at this point, you can do your bubble writing, you can do some gorgeous pictures. Take your time, no rush on this, really make it look lovely. As a quick reminder, this is what Lydia's looks like with the same sort of design. So I think what she's done is she's done her design in pencil first and then gone over it in a handwriting pen, or you could go over it in a thin black felt tip pen. You've got lovely felt tip pens in your packs. Okay, so doing the front cover, and then if you, on this side, you can start with the starters. That makes sense, doesn't it? Start with describing your starters. And rather than having absolutely loads, I'd have 2 or 3, which are fabulous. And then you can do illustrations. The mains in the middle make sense. Now, Lydia was saying her special heart-shaped tin meatballs are only for Valentine's Day. And for desserts, similarly, dessert at the top, and then some pictures, and she's also popped her drinks at the bottom. So remember, I'm not expecting that to be done by our Zoom call today. You've got a few days to do that. You can use over the weekend. I'd just love to see it on our Zoom call when you've finished, or of course, you can email it to me as well. Okay, can't wait to see you later and hear all your fabulous ideas. Bye then.